Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this next video in our series, A Day in the Life of SaaS FinOps, this one on subscription contract changes. These are such a terror for some people as you have business changes and changes in your contract model, and the exceptions can really drag you down. We created a way to automate so much of this to make your life easier. My name is David Apple, head of the SaaS vertical here at Sage EdTech. Joining me is Taylor Brown, one of our top solution consultants. I just want to start with context on all this. What we built for you was an ideal finance tech stack to support your FinOps organization from prospect to disclosure. Feel free to pause the video, but all the major functional components that you need in order to scale up are there. This allows you to cut the close. We're going to show you what that means for you in the next couple slides. I've got a couple screenshots to set up the story that Taylor's going to show for you. It all starts with having one system of record across the entire subscription. Look down there at the bottom. This tracks both the new orders and the add-on, and the add-ons where a lot of the difficulty comes in. Taylor's going to show you an example of that. And then automatic calculation on 605 and 606 or IFRS 15, as the case may be, where you can see unbilled, billed, and paid across deferred and recognized revenue and the expenses that come along with it, which is something unique to when you buy both the billing and the financial management solution together. But having the initial order is difficult enough. Tracking all the transactions when they're coming out of another system like Salesforce.com, and as the volume that you have coming in is where this really starts to drag on, and automation makes a huge difference. And the nirvana of all this is once all this automation occurs on the transactions, the ability to forecast out revenue, billings, cash, and as the changes happen, having that data pulled into the system so you don't have to manually be doing it in spreadsheets with possibly inaccurate data coming from multiple different places. It's here, and when you can see these things, you can get into second and third order derivative decisions on when can we invest, can we acquire another company, can we hire product engineering ahead of plan in order to tackle the churn sheet. This is where it all comes together. And with that, and kind of setting up the story, Taylor's now going to show it to you. Taylor?
Awesome. Let's jump into the solution. So we're in Sage Intacct, and Sage Intacct is a role-based solution. And based on your permissions, you're going to have access to different dashboards, KPIs, metrics, and reports. And the dashboards are where we generally are going to start our day. Today, we're starting out on our executive SaaS dashboard. Emma is looking at information surrounding contracts. She spends a lot of time here tracking information around CMRR. She has the ability to navigate between different dashboards, viewing information in her digital board book or in her contract forecasting dashboard as well, where she can actually see what's going to come in the future in terms of billings, payment, and revenue. Now, Emma actually has gotten a comment from one of the sales reps directly from Salesforce. Thanks to the direct integration with her CRM and our bidirectional communication, as soon as a sales representative has a commentary on one of the contracts within their CRM, Emma's going to get that notification directly within the solution. She can move from the invoice all the way to the contract record itself, so it's seamless and easy for her to get to that insight surrounding that living financial arrangement. Now, Emma opens the contract up, and she had seen in the commentary from that sales rep in her collaboration tool that there's been an add-on to the contract. Now, when she opens the record, she's getting a lot of great information. She can see that this is a contract that's in progress. She has information around the billing. She sees that automation coming into place. So where that sales rep has selected the customer in Salesforce, it's populating information around term. Where those billing price lists are being leveraged, again, coming from that CRM. It's populating insight around revenue and billing for our different items. And revenue and billing as decoupled in the system. So we can have different treatments for how we're billing our customers versus how we're actually recognizing revenue. All of this different item information was selected by the sales rep. And if she comes to the bottom of the page, she can actually see, thanks to those change types, very easily that she has an add-on. If she goes in and actually tracks her journal balances, she's going to be able to see that she has some deferred sales revenue. She has some different expenses and receivables. She's able to track the billing and the revenue process directly from this page, all the way at the contract level or by line item. And she's going to leverage this view after she does her fair value allocation between her performance obligations to make sure that it's been applied directly to the contract. Now, as soon as an add-on takes place in a contract within the system, Inima's going to get that notification, and she's going to know that she needs to actually come in and update that fair value allocation across performance obligations, since she has additional obligations now within the contract. It's simple and easy for her to do this in the system, actually coming in and setting that effective date. So if the add-on doesn't kick off until April, she can set it up now in January to make sure that this fair value allocation takes place correctly within the system. She's able to preview the information actually surrounding this fair value allocation. And once she sees that preview and sees that this allocation has been done correctly, viewing information such as the computation around that allocation, she can actually apply and save that and feel comfortable and confident that as soon as that revenue kicks off in April, the system's going to recognize it on time according to the schedule and for the correct amount, thanks to the allocation she just did. She even can come in directly to the schedules themselves and actually view and track that information. Seeing now that on April, at the end of the month, with that daily rate, this is going to be allocated correctly. Her journal balances will also be updated in real time. So she's seeing this full cycle. We're on her living financial arrangement. She's tracking information around those fair value allocations. She's tracking the exact amounts that need to be leveraged in the system. And she even has information around that forecast as well. So everything's present for her in one place. She has a seamless solution. And if she's ready to move and take a look at the forecast, she can do that simply and easily within the system, simply coming back to her dashboard, leveraging her custom navigation tools to re-enter into that dashboard, making sure that her numbers for Nirvana are updated and present in real time, removing her from Excel, allowing her to leverage Sage Intacct to track actuals, forecasted information, as well as be strategic about that recurring revenue. And now I'll pass it back over to you, David, to continue with the presentation.
This is where we get all the wow factor when people have to do this manually today. Not necessarily knowing where the data is coming over from Salesforce is problem number one. Having the allocations, the knowing what the revenue and billing rules are going to be is problem number two. Having them tie back to the original performance obligations that they had so that it immediately gets reallocated and what the new fair value should look like for revenue. And then the what happens downstream of that is deferred revenue waterfall getting automatically calculated for you. And then because all that happens, real-time updates to the forecast on revenue, billings, and cash. When we're talking to people, they're just often just saying, oh my gosh, I'm doing this all by myself right now, all manually, and it's completely delaying my system and my ability to close and get data over to the executive team. So here's the screen view of just seeing what you saw, this slide. And then this slide and seeing how unbilled, billed, and paid occurs over deferred and recognized revenue. And then seeing how the forecast looks. It's just amazing how it comes together. So well done, Taylor. Next slide, please. So we want to be clear, there's so many different billing scenarios we can support you on, and having the only combined unified subscription and recurring revenue billing and financial management solution. Feel free to pause this slide because I'm going to go through it quickly. But just on usage, there's so many different types. The next kind, on rating, so many different ways we can support you with rating. Next one, fixed price. If you've got modules or anything along those lines, put that in. Next, your sales assisted with heavy projects that you might have to do to have customer success, cover that there. Next, on the contract management, to be able to handle all of the possible changes that occur, being able to automate that. And then last, ways to accelerate DSO with all the different ways to try to create a frictionless billing experience for people with what the actual invoice looks like, which allows you to accelerate DSO. So I hope we answered some questions for you, showed you what a day in the life of can look like with handling contract amendment changes. There's so much more information we'd love to share with you. Simply go to bit.ly/easyclimb, capital E, capital C, bit.ly/easyclimb. It's a pleasure meeting you. Look forward to possibly meeting you in the future. Hope we answered your questions. Great job, Taylor. Have a good day.